Hey, Terry.
Hey, Coach. Congrats on the win. Phoenix, even when bit by the injury bug a little bit, it's still a team with a lot of size and strength inside. To out-rebound them 44-39 and have every starter with 5+ rebounds, with that being an effort area. Just how pleased were you with the effort in that spot tonight?
Yeah, as you mentioned, Phoenix is big and had to play bigger as a result of, some of their injuries. But yeah, rebounding is obviously something we talk about a lot. So anytime that we get it done, we have to make sure we celebrate it. So go ahead and write about that.
Second unit, I think Jess was the first sub, and got a couple baskets right away, a couple nice assists right away.
Yep.
And then as more players came in, I think you had just about all of them had scored in the first quarter. How much does Jess mean to that second unit and to provide that spark in the first
I told her
quarter?
when she came off the floor, I mean, when Jess has a mindset of being a playmaker, Jess is so good. It's like having another point guard out there. She's so good at making other players better. And that's in that stretch. That's exactly what she did. And it was a nice boost for us. And, we don't underappreciate Jess. That's for darn sure.
I guess just sort of going off that, but every single player that was active scored today. Just curious if that's something maybe like you hit on post game or just what that says about depth and what that can do for also team morale as a whole.
Yeah, and we talked about this is where it's okay for our players to say how tired they were going into today. I knew we didn't talk about, but I knew how they were feeling. 11 games in 20 days, etc. And so we knew we needed a collective, and I just thought our group was ready to do that. And I think our bench is growing. Overall, we're getting a little more consistency in how we're using them, when they're going to be on the floor, what we're doing when they're on the floor. So it bodes well for our team that we needed a team win today, and we got it. And Phoenix certainly made it difficult, and obviously they when they're healthy, even when they're not healthy, they've been grinding out wins and making it hard for everybody they play against. So good tough win for us. You got to be tough physically and mentally against these guys, and I just thought collectively we were very locked in. We had not checked out for All-Star break yet, which made us very happy.
Cheryl, first off, what's the number up to now for below 40%?
Yeah, let me get that number for you, Mike.
We got to have that.
173-9 since 2011 when we hold our opponents below 40%, and we held these guys at 35.7 overall. So we know that we needed to play defense against these guys, and Fee, as much as the offensive end, she was pretty gassed going into the game, and she gave it to us on defense, and was pivotal, and obviously helped us reach that goal of holding our opponent below 40.
You mentioned Jess kind of like a guard out there at times. I thought defensively maybe even better today. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, Jess was great, both ends. You could see her activity, and we certainly like to try to find ways to have her on the floor more. But she got good minutes today, made the most of them. The game came easy for her, and then just rebounding wise, she just hunts it. She's aggressive. We need it, and so both ends. Jess was special today.
Coach, just wanted to talk about the atmosphere. Obviously, the kids, just want to talk about with that the energy that the crowd brought the team as well.
Yeah. And we talked about before the game, we're changing lives. This is that game today. We're changing lives in all different ways. And but their energy, Wade told me we have some of the smartest young fans. They know the game. She's partial to Minnesotans, youth in Minnesota. She was especially impressed with them knowing the words to every song that was played. And they gave us energy, a basic thing in the beginning. That we got to hit our non-camp day fans and say, hey, you need to take a little lesson there. That was impressive what they were doing, and it fired our players up. So yeah, it was a fun day.
And then obviously the All-Star, newly acquired All-Star, K-Mac. We know what she does from the shooting perspective. Just what does she bring to the game that besides the shooting, obviously defensively as well, she locked in 2 steals.
Yep.
But what is she bringing to the team as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the leadership. Can't when she's been through, in her career, so many situations that we count on her heavily in moments in the game when it gets tough or when we start moving players around. KMAC initiate this time, so-and-so do this. She's the one that helps us get people organized. She's good off the board when we're writing it and just making sure that people know where they're going to be. And she's a playmaker. I thought her approach today was so good, understanding what's going to be available against Phoenix and, the balance of perimeter shots as well as attacking. I thought Mac did a great job of that today.
Cheryl, you mentioned Fee's defense on Thomas. She was especially effective in the second half without fouling. What are some of the keys to being able to do that?
Referee's not calling anything. I don't know what happened at halftime. What was in the room, but they came out very much like, there wasn't going to be anything. Both teams. So, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. But I thought that allows you to play. That allows, Thomas to play, allows Collier to play. And really at every rim attempt, you better go in there strong, just making catches on the perimeter. Everything's hard. Both teams make it hard. So, but I thought Fee was, obviously Fee's a great defensive player. And she really gave it to us on that end of the floor today.
You put her back in with about 33 seconds to go in the first half with 3 fouls. You must have been pretty confident at that point that she would be able to guard Thomas on that possession without fouling.
Yep.
What gave you that confidence?
It's Fee. Fee knows what to do. She knows she has fouls. Now, do I trust the whole picture? Not necessarily. But that's what we were. And I wanted her on the floor for her last possession. That's kind of the package of that thinking.
Coach, I know when we ask about milestones, you are typically move on to the next goal.
Mm-hmm.
Regular season win number 350 for you this afternoon. Since it comes right before the All-Star break, do you get a chance to enjoy that a little bit, or are you already thinking about drawing up sets for Team Collier?
I have to pack for Indianapolis, and I don't know what I'm wearing. I don't know what our record is, let alone some crazy number that you guys have access to. So obviously I'm thrilled to be the coach here. I feel blessed. And, just thinking the other day, I probably should send Roger Griffith a few more thank you cards than I have because he's the guy who put me in this position. And but I just love coaching this team, and I care more about anything that they are trying to accomplish than obviously anything else.
Just going back to, you were talking about KMAC and her leadership, I had the chance to just chat a little bit with Diamond before the game. She said that KMAC in particular has been really helpful with just, some of the difficulties that she's had early this season. I'm curious if that's something that you're kind of privy to, or if you could just speak to how KMAC has kind of helped with some of those younger players and getting them adjusted.
If you go back to 2023, now we were coming off of a really difficult season in 2022 where we didn't make the playoffs, and the chemistry was the worst team I've ever had in 2022. And we came into 2023 with a different mindset, and it could have been easy for KMAC to not embrace the rookies, Diamond, Dorka, and Diamond gave KMAC this energy that she didn't know she needed, is what KMAC said. And KMAC poured into Diamond. So it's been happening since 2023. And, everybody loves Diamond. Mac loves Diamond. And she's easy to pour into. She's fun to be around. This is a young player who they all want to play more. They all want to play more. And for someone like Mac, who's been in the league for so long and has experienced so much, including maybe not getting what she wanted in terms of, the team, the play, the whatever, she's a great resource. And Mac has always been really willing to pour into Diamond. And obviously that makes us really proud of Mac.
Well, Coach, once you do get your packing done and you head to Indianapolis, what are your expectations now that the coaching trade is done and you're going to be coaching Collier's team, and having some fun down there? Can you just tell us what you're looking forward to with this All-Star break coming up?
Harry and Izzy's. I don't know if anybody's familiar. None of you are familiar with Harry and Izzy's. There's Patrick, are you familiar with Harry and Izzy's? So I'm looking they have a tremendous lunch special. I will be getting their sliders, chicken sliders. There's a shrimp cocktail. Their sauce is incredible. That's what they're known for. You know St. Elmo's Steakhouse? So that's Harry and Izzy's is what I'm told is the younger version. So I'm looking forward to spending time with my family. I'll have Carly and Oliver. Oliver's going to be with us, and he's so excited. He loves the WNBA so much, and he's so excited to be around all these players, as is Rebecca and her son Graham, Sefu and his son Makai. So it's a time to really connect with our families, because obviously we're not getting the time now, being home with them. And, as far as the game itself, I just want the players to have a good time. For me, it's like, you're named the head coach, but you're really just get out of the way. Sub. That's our biggest job, is to sub. And referees don't call anything in all-star games, so there will be long stretches where you're trying to get players in the game. But that's our biggest responsibility, I think, is subbing and make sure that they're having fun. The other ones weren't serious? Oh. They have not, and I prefer it that way. It's kind of strange to say. I don't even know what they're doing, where it is, that sort of thing. I just know, as Courtney says, they're popping. Apparently they're popping. And they are really looking forward to All-Star and what they have going there. I'm really happy for them in this day and age of being able to monetize your greatness, your personality, your game. And I'm just really happy for them that they found something that gives them a lot of joy, and obviously gives a lot of other people joy. And, they don't ask me anything. But yeah, it should be fun. Maybe some other players will join. I think that's some of the stuff that they're looking forward to. But yeah, other than that, I don't know what's happening.
Congrats to you both on the win, and Kayla, congrats on the All-Star nod.
Thank you.
Last week or so, you've had players and coaches advocating for you to be added to the game, and just now that it's official, just how meaningful is it to have that second consecutive All-Star appearance with the Lynx, and also how much better does it make it to get to go into the weekend with a win here at home?
Yeah, it's an honor. I'm very fortunate for this group and this organization. It is different here, just the camaraderie and the chemistry and the love that I have for the people in our locker room, my teammates, the coaching staff. And so the fact that we get to all do this together, Cheryl, the coach, and then Fee and Court, and T, our fellow stud bud. So it's just really cool to just do it together, because that's what the season's about. That's why we go, to represent each other. And so it's really special. And like I said, as you get older, they get a little bit more special, because you never know how many, you're going to get. When you're 23, you don't think like, oh, this might be my last one, But when you're 33, you do. So I am just really fortunate, and I just have a lot of love for this organization, for believing in me, Cheryl. And so to be able to do it alongside them, it's really, really special for me, for sure. So I'm excited.
Last year, you and Fee had to be on opposite sides of it. This year, not only you get Fee, you get Court and Cheryl. Just how much fun is that going to be to have all four of you on the same side of the All-Star game?
Oh, it's an incredible feeling. Obviously, I'm used to being on their side of the bench, so it makes it a lot easier. But it's just the joy, like I said, and just the love that we have for one another. And we go to war every day for each other, with each other. And so to be able to kind of have this inflection point of, all right, we're all here at the All-Star game together, and having the great season that we're having, while also keeping the main thing. It's just a cool inflection point, I think, for our organization, and then just, our leader and Cheryl. It's cool. Like, obviously I would much rather be on Fee's team than against her. Fee and Court, for sure.
And for you, Jess, Coach was in here talking about the effort from the second unit, specifically in the rebounding area, but elsewhere as well. And just how you on the floor can be that, presence down low, but also a facilitator, and just how much you make your teammates better. Just going against a team like Phoenix, which has a lot of size and strength down low, to out-rebound and win that battle. Just, how key was the effort in that area tonight?
Yeah, I think our bench, we're a close-knit group, and we all stick together. We know that we kind of rely on each other for how long we're going to be out there. So we've just built a trust with each other, and obviously, Coach is growing in her trust in us. So The one thing we want to make sure every time we come out there is that we bring energy. Obviously the starting group has to play a lot of minutes, and they can get tired, so we want to make sure that we kind of change the pace when we're in the game, and I think today we did a great job of doing that.
And Kayla, at the All-Star this year, the WNBA is introducing the 4-point shot.
I just saw that.
Yeah.
And so are you looking forward to hitting your first 4-point attempt?
I am actually. That's actually pretty cool. I started working on my range a little bit in Unrivaled, and so hopefully Cheryl's okay with me taking a couple 4-point shots. I don't know about here, but for sure there, I can get away with a little bit more there, I think, than I can here.
And then coming up with All-Star, what are you looking forward to outside of the game about the All-Star experience?
Well, it's really nice because Indianapolis is actually like a drive. It's like an easy drive for my family. They can actually drive up, which is cool. But I always enjoy being in the locker room, with players that maybe you don't get to see as much, like in their natural element, because it's a fun space. It's not. It's competitive, but it's a fun space. So being in the locker room with people like Sky and just people that you see from afar that you still admire, and then you just have history with and been in the locker room with. Those are always cool things. Just kind of be able to hang out with them in that natural setting instead of a competitive setting is always fun. And then, like I said, just sharing with family is always special too.
And then you were just mentioning Unrivaled there. I was curious with, we talked a little bit pregame before this, but just with kind of CBA things going on, that's part of All-Star Weekend, obviously. How important do you think was what, Fee was able to do with Stewie with Unrivaled? I guess just at this moment when you guys are kind of, trying to prove and fight for your value in the marketplace.
Oh yeah, it's gonna put the pressure on them for sure. Just because they saw how successful Unrivaled was, and as being there and just seeing what they were able to do in such a short amount of time, and then on the flip side, what we're asking for in the CBA, it's really impactful. And we're able to have the time at All Star, and I'll be there, and we're able to actually get face to face and have these conversations, which is really important because what we're fighting for. Is the trajectory of our league, and we know how important it is, and so to be able to advocate for ourselves, whether it's on the court or off the court, is always more impactful than if we're not in the room. So looking forward to having those conversations at All-Star as well.
And then, I guess just a follow-up for Jess, again, not sure if you're going there. I know we got players, going All-Star. We got players going to Vegas. Unfortunately, no Turks and Caicos, but hey,
I know, I was sad about that.
I know. But I was curious, just I don't know if you're going to be there, and then if not, like just how comfortable and confident you feel with, folks like Kayla, folks like Fee, especially going there and kind of being your voice with everything going on.
Yeah, I will not be there. I will be tuned in though. I gotta support my teammates, but no, I'll be just take a break. Obviously I came straight from overseas and had Eurobasket and a lot of different things, so just kind of take a break and separate from basketball for just a few days here. But I've had a lot of conversations actually with Fee. I think you can't have a better advocate actually for the whole league. Obviously she's a star player, so the things she may consider good maybe aren't good for the rest, but the conversations that I've had with her, she's being a great advocate for player 1 through 12. And I think that's super important. I think, in the last CBA, there was maybe some things that didn't help player 1 through 12. So I think, Fee noticed that, and I think she's doing a great job of, trying to voice for everyone.
Yeah, Jess, speaking of Fee, she had the really tough defensive assignment today on Thomas, and you got to defend her a little bit too. Was there anything that you saw from Fee that helped you when you went in to try to defend her?
Well, first off, props to Fee, to take that assignment. Obviously, we know she's the best player on the court, and, she sacrificed her offense to be able to, help our team get the win by playing the defense that she did on AT. I think just being physical with her, we had a different game plan the first time we played them, but Fee did a great job of being physical. Obviously, AT is a very physically gifted player, but I think Fee was able to frustrate her a bit just with her length, and, I think Fee did a great job on her. Obviously, I only had a few possessions on her, so, Fee did good.
Yeah, and Kayla, I wanted to ask you just one more thing about All-Star, if I could. Your coaches and your teammates were very vocal about the fact that you didn't get named right away. How disappointed were you in that time between when the team was announced and you finally got the call that you weren't recognized?
You know, first I was really really happy for Courtney because I just think that she's had an unbelievable season. Obviously, Fee is our motor, our everything. But I was really really happy for Courtney. Like that was like my first instinctual, response. I've been in this league for like a long time, and slowly but surely it has started to become like a little bit less about basketball and more about like popularity. So I'm already aware of that. I'm 33 years old. I know my value in this league. I know my value on this team, and within them, it's enough for me. I know who I am. So for me, it's nice to have the nod, but I know that I'm an all-star in this group. And so for me, I was so happy, and I'm more happy about us being number one and our coaches going, our staff going, and Courtney getting her nod and things like that. And now residually it comes back to me, which is great, but it is what it is. Like you take it on the chin, and you get back to work. If anything, it's like extra motivation for me not getting the first nod, honestly, because I know my value in this league, and mainly I know my value for this team. So for me, it's like whatever. I'm too old to be worried about like if somebody votes me in because I know my worth. So.
Speaking of Courtney, did you already have Kathy's number in your phone? Did you know they were calling when she
Kathy
did?
actually texted me first before calling, which was very smart because it was early. But no, I didn't actually. She texted me first, so that was good.
And I just have one more for Jess. You had a nice little dime to Masha, birthday girl. I don't know if you'd played with her either overseas or elsewhere before, but obviously her being the newest player on this team. Just kind of how has that chemistry grown in a short time between the two of you and just sort of with the rest of the group as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's grown a lot. We both want each other to be successful, which I think is super important. And obviously, we kind of play off each other very well. She's a good three-point shooter, a good cutter. I like to pass. So I think we're developing a very good chemistry, and super excited, and happy to have her on this team. She's brought a lot for us.
And then Kayla, when Cheryl was in here, she was talking about the way you've mentored Diamond from when she first got here, and I'm just wondering if you wanted to talk a little bit more about your relationship with Diamond since she was drafted.
Yeah, it was interesting because that 2022, 2023, when Dorky and Diamond came in together, it was rough. In the beginning we started, it was up and down, but we ended up becoming a playoff team. And in that time, I feel like, especially when you go to a new team, that was like my third year here, you're still trying to prove yourself. But in that moment, I feel like I really changed and became a lot more selfless as a leader. With seeing Dorky and Diamond and just how hard they were working, and then now, especially with Diamond, like seeing her get her opportunities and trying to maximize them. I see them work every single day, and I know what it is to be a young kid in this league just trying to prove yourself. And so just being able to kind of redirect them in the right way, it's a lot of fun. And I think as you grow as a player and as a person, you're able to kind of see that when they maybe don't see it yet, and you can see it in themselves, in them. So I think it's really impactful for me. I think especially as a leader, as a player, because you realize like just how much you've grown, also, but how much you can still pour into the younger generation. And I genuinely want to see them be successful. Diamond and all the young players. Every time Ola scores, it's like we go crazy, And you just want to see them maximize their opportunities because that's what this league is about. I want to see it here for years to come. And players like Diamond are going to be around for a long time. So it's really cool to see her have her opportunities and maximizing them because I've watched her grow from a young grasshopper, and now she's flying on her own wings,
Obviously, with the All-Star Weekend, too, we have the 72-hour Stud Buds live stream.
So pumped.
Yeah, it's gonna, I'm excited to watch
I'm probably
it.
going to sleep with T in court one of the nights, I think.
Well,
So I'm really excited.
it'll be exciting. I guess, like, on a more serious note on that, obviously a lot of it is just T and Court kind of goofing around, but what do you think is the value in that in terms of just allowing fans to kind of see another side of y'all, and then also, I mean, literally in the name, like, Stud Buds, just, like, in terms of visibility, them being unapologetically themselves?
I was just talking to T about this. I just think it's so cool that they get to be themselves, and they're just impacting so many people and so many fans. Obviously, we're having a great season. They both are having, respectively, great seasons, but then also being able to just kind of disconnect, I think is really cool, you know, and that's the world we live in. Social media is a big part of it. And so it's really cool to see them kind of use their personalities and you put it on that platform and people are enjoying it. I enjoy it. My mom, and I guess her work friends, her mom watches it, like, because they're just such dope people too, like just great human beings. And so that's like, when I see them just kind of impacting the world and, you know, bringing a smile to people's faces, and now you see fans with their hair pink and, like, you know, things like that, it's really cool because it's so much bigger than that. They're just really being themselves, and I think that's the beauty of it. They're not doing anything out of who they are every day in the locker room for us. So it's really cool for everybody to see their personalities on a bigger stage because we love our stud butts.
Just is your mom like sending you stud buds clips or what?
My
What's
mom
up with
wants to be on it.
No, she's just like mentioned multiple times like different clips from their streams, and yeah, I mean K-Max said it great, but I think also just, you know, it shows like, okay, we are basketball players, like, you know, we come to our job and this is our job, and you know, we're humans outside of basketball, and I think they're doing a great job of, you know, showing that like they're authentically themselves, and you know, they can show who they are.